You think you're 10 years behind. The data says you're 10 years ahead. Here's the situation. You're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. You want to start something, a business, a skill, a career change, content creation. And the first thing you think is, I'm too old. I should have started when I was younger. That's not caution. That's incorrect math. Type 1. Experience advantage. The 20-year-old you're comparing yourself to doesn't have experience. They have energy and less fear. That's it. But here's what you have that they don't. You know what doesn't work. You've failed before. Not at this specific thing, but at life. You know the shortcuts don't exist. You know what excuses feel like and what discipline looks like. You've learned it the hard way. A 20-year-old tries something and quits because it's hard. You know hardship passes. You've seen it before. That's an advantage, not a disadvantage. You've also made mistakes in your life, so you make them faster at the thing you're learning. You don't repeat them. You iterate. The 20-year-old repeats the same mistakes 5 times before learning. You repeat them once. That's 4 cycles of improvement ahead of them. The person starting at 20 has to learn discipline, resilience, how to handle failure. You already know. You're starting with those skills built in. Type 2. Credibility advantage. Here's something nobody says out loud. People trust you more. A 25-year-old shows up and says, I know how to do this. People are skeptical. You show up and say, I know how to do this. People believe you. Why? Because you have a track record of doing things. Any things. You've had jobs, relationships, you've managed money, paid bills, kept commitments. You have proof you follow through. That credibility compounds, especially if you're teaching, selling, or leading. A young person has to prove themselves through results over time. You start with the benefit of the doubt. That's not fair, but it's real. Use it in sales, in content, in coaching, in business. Your age is a selling point, not a liability. The gray hair, the lines on your face, the calm in your voice, that signals experience. People pay for that. Type 3. Urgency advantage. This is the one people don't want to hear, but it's the most powerful. You know you have finite time. You feel it. You're aware of it. A 20-year-old thinks they have infinite time. So they waste it. They optimize as wrong things. They spend 6 months building the perfect personal brand. They spend a year perfecting their system. You don't have time for that. So you skip it. You start immediately. A 25-year-old has 50 years ahead of them, so they can afford to be patient. You have fewer years, so you move faster. That speed compounds into advantage. The person who moves at 80% speed immediately beats the person who moves at 100% speed 6 months from now. You're already ahead because you have less time to waste. You also prioritize differently. A young person learns 10 things poorly. You learn 3 things deeply, and depth wins. Your age forces you to be efficient. That's an advantage. Why the age comparison is broken. Here's the core problem with the too old narrative. You're comparing the wrong things. You're looking at a 22-year-old who started their thing at 18 and they're now ahead. But you're not comparing fairly. You're not asking, what did their first 2 years actually look like? How many things did they fail at? How many people started at 18 and quit by 25? Survivorship bias. You see the 22-year-old who succeeded early. You don't see the 50 who started at 18 and quit. Meanwhile, the people who started at 40 and succeeded. You're not comparing yourself to them. Because they're not as visible. They just quietly built something. The data on late starters is actually favorable. People who start later stick longer because they know what commitment means, build faster because they optimize better, achieve more because they compound advantage. Not because they're smarter, because they're more realistic. The real obstacles, and they're not age. Your actual obstacles aren't age. They're 1. Belief. You think you're too old. You're not. That's just a thought. It's not data. 2. Comparison. You're comparing your beginning to someone's middle. They're 10 years in. You're looking at year 10 as your starting point. That's not fair. Compare yourself to them at year 1. 3. Sunk cost. You feel like your age is already wasted, so you might as well waste more. That's the worst reasoning. Every day you start is a day you get back. Your age isn't changing. You're going to be 50 in 10 years whether you start now or wait. The question is, will you have 10 years of progress or 0 years of progress? You're not actually competing against 22-year-olds. You're competing against yourself at this time next year. Will you have started, or will you still be waiting? Your age is an asset. Your time remaining is finite. Use both.